sweet, never let me go.
Love Me Tender is actually a song called Orally, basic American song. Many of us sang it in choir. It's got different words, that's all.
Love me tender, love me true.
I remember, being a kid and going through like an old songbook and hearing this other song, and I went, that's Love Me Tender.
Orally, orally, made of golden hair, sunshine came along with thee, and swallows in the air.
And I always will.
Orally, that was a very famous Civil War ballad. And so that's a very organic choice. The tune of the song and the setting of the movie kind of all work together.
Elvis's music publishers were great at finding songs they could write new words to and therefore keep more of the money from. It's Now or Never is O Solo Mio. It's a little operatic number that had existed for many a year. Therefore, you didn't have to pay whoever composed it.
Orally was retitled. New lyrics were written by Ken Darby, who was the musical director of the movie. But Colonel Tom Parker had a rule that if Elvis recorded a song, Elvis got a publishing cut. And so the song was credited not to Ken Darby, but to Ken Darby's wife and to Elvis, neither of whom appear to have had anything to do with the writing of the song.
Most people think that it's Elvis or Scotty Moore playing the guitar part in Love Me Tender, when actually it's one of Ken Darby's boys.
Elvis brought his regular band, Scotty Moore and Bill Black, out to Los Angeles and got them a test for the movie. And they went to a soundstage on the Fox lot and they ran through their act.
Powers to be wanted to hear us, see if we was good enough to do the soundtrack. So we go in and do 30 minutes of a show we've been doing. Ken Darby said they couldn't use us.
And they were told afterwards they didn't sound country or hillbilly enough for the movie, so they brought in the Ken Darby Trio to be more hillbilly. They hired professional Hollywood musicians to play like hillbillies rather than the Southern boys that were in Elvis's real band.
Elvis vowed after that movie that the boys were going to be with him from that point on.
If my dreams could all come true.
When you see the ghost of Elvis over the graveyard singing the song, you really see that the Elvis character is singing to Deborah Pageant and is telling her, I'm gone, you can move on in your life, and you can still love me tender.
Everywhere you go.
You can know that RCA and that Colonel Parker are thinking single release.
The song was just put in the movie because the studios knew it was going to endear him to an older audience. They wanted to bridge the gap a little bit and to be able to score higher numbers at the box office with a song that was going to be not just for teenagers but for all age groups.
The crucial thing about Love Me Tender was that it was the first real change of pace for Elvis. It was the first time Elvis had sung something other than rock and roll.
We all know about them breaking his records and protesting his appearances on television and all that because he's shaking and dancing. But he does a ballad and all of a sudden, wait a minute.
People could see him as this sensitive crooner who wasn't that bad boy, greasy-haired rebel.
It really endeared him to an older audience, to the parents of the kids that were going crazy for him, to the grandparents who thought he was the devil incarnated on stage. It made him less threatening and more accepted by the older generations.
This is a mom-friendly song.
In the rock world that I grew up in, it's the equivalent of Kiss releasing the song Beth. It just doesn't go with who you consider it to be coming from.
You can hear the influence of Dean Martin, who was massive at this point. Guys like Frank Sinatra, who denounced rock and roll as the ruffian music of bare-knuckled thugs, had him on television. He appears on TV and sings alongside Sinatra. I think he said to the people out there already, I'm an accomplished singer. The most accomplished singer in America takes me seriously enough to duet with me on TV.
Before Love Me Tender, Ed Sullivan didn't want Elvis on his show. But by the time of Love Me Tender, Ed introduced him. Ed said, this is a fine young boy. And Elvis got to debut the song Love Me Tender on the Ed Sullivan Show.
This is part of what made Elvis bigger and broader than ever before, you know, endeared him to millions more.
Originally, the movie was to be entitled The Reno Brothers, but in a very smart marketing move, they decided to call the movie Love Me Tender because that's the name of the single.
The Love Me Tender single is released at the end of September and starts climbing the charts. And the week that the movie's released in New York City, Love Me Tender is number one on the charts. The sheet music is number one. It's the most played song on the radio, and it's number one on jukebox. I mean, everything peaked right at that moment.
A lot of the time, the songs really help the movies, and the movies really help the songs. Having those songs out there on the big screen really gave Colonel Parker a million more ways to promote the song and the movie.
Love me tender.
Love Me Tender is a fact of life. Whether it's your favorite Elvis song or not, I say Love Me Tender, you hear the music. You know, this is one of the monster Elvis songs that you think of instantly when you think of Elvis.
After he did that first movie, well, of course, he'd do a song every time we did a show.
All the later concerts, he would keep on singing Love Me Tender. But usually in the concert part, that was the part where he kissed the girls in the audience. So it was Love Me Tender, kiss, 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 love me sweet, kiss, 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 kiss. And then the number would go on forever because the more girls there were to kiss, the more he'd keep on milking that number.
Every one of them thought he was singing directly to them.
One of the things I've observed with songs like Love Me Tender is that people love them now just as much as they did when it came out on the radio.
Love me tender, love me long, take me to your heart.
Love Me Tender is an amazing song just because it's just him. Most of it's just him and a guitar. It's just the meat. If the meat's good, it doesn't have sauce on it. It's just his voice.
Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill.
Wow. Try to top that.
I'm sure there are people who were married to that song. I'm sure there are people who are going to get married to that song. One reason, they're going to get married in Vegas by someone dressed as Elvis. But whatever, that's their issue. What I'm saying is it's with us and it's going to stay with us for a long time to come.
Love you, and